today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the DC Collectibles DC Comics Icons number 2, Deadman. Warning, Deadman does contain small parts, so he's not recommended for children under 3 years of age. This is the second figure that we're having a look at from the new DC Comics Icons. Perhaps the brand new start of a new comic-themed line from the folks over at DC Collectibles. Those fans of the original DC Universe line from Mattel, hopefully this could be the start of a brand new line of characters, so looking forward to that. Spin around the back of the package, the full figure lineup of Series 1 consists of Batman, Deadman, Green Arrow, and Mr. Miracle. If you personally ask me, I think Mr. Miracle is the weakest of the bunch, but we're going to be having a look at him in a separate video. The icons are designed by Ivan Rice, sculpted by Dave Cortez. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up, but when we come back, we get a better look at the DC Comics, DC Icons, Deadman. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. When understanding that DC Collectibles has some rather big shoes to fill the void that the Mattel DC Universe figures created, I think they're pretty much on a good start so far. Deadman looks really cool. Really cool. And before we touch base on the figure itself, I want to show you the one accessory that it comes with, because it's a little on the odd side. He comes with this. It's only one half. It's only just one fragment of Deadman, and it's like a rubbery plastic. But what you're supposed to do with this is that you're supposed to take Batman, or really any character, and it's supposed to fit over top of Batman as if Deadman is possessing the Caped Crusader. And there's areas where it sits around his ears, making me feel like it's better suited for Batman. In fact, even in the instructions that come included with Deadman, it indicates that this goes over top of Batman. But I guess theoretically, you could really put it over top of any of the characters from the DC Icons. It's successful, I suppose. But would it ever be a look that you would go with? Probably not. I like that they would have gone the mile of giving us something that you could include with other characters, some playability, but to me it just doesn't make much sense to... I won't use this, I will say that, I won't probably ever use this. It's neat that you get it, I just probably would never use it. To give you guys an idea, let's move his fists out of the way. There is Deadman with Batman. Clearly a different body, which is the one thing that Mattel, though to give them credit, they gave us a lot of different figures for DC Universe. A lot of the bodies did share the same properties. A lot of them use the same mold. Deadpool, or Deadman I should say, is nothing like Batman in the way of his body. There are maybe areas that could have carried over, perhaps, maybe a retooling of his thigh, but there's a lot of areas really that are brand new sculpts. Maybe his bicep. Looks like it could be similar enough to Batman's arms, but yeah, there's a real difference of body proportions from Deadman to Batman. And we'll just move Batman out of the way here. I like his face. And I don't want to do constant comparisons to the DC Universe, but that's essentially what this line is hoping to be, is the new DC Universe line of superhero figures. Face is good though. It's got that withered, dead look to it, very pale in complexion. I love the darkness that they put around his eyes. And not only does he have black around his eyeballs, but it looks like he's also got almost a purplish gray around the black of the eyes, just to give it a little bit of extra oomph. And the underneath where his bare chest is, it's not quite white either. They've put a wash in there of a gray. So it really stands out. The D also stands out, I think, on his torso. And while it would look like he's basically just all red and white, there are little areas, such as the gloves, the boots, and the inside of his collar, that do a good enough job of breaking up all that same red color that you see so much of. It's interesting also, too, that both Batman and Deadman also have shiny boots and shiny gloves. Let's bring Batman in once again. You can see what I mean. I don't know if that's going to be a trend carrying over with all the figures, that like boots and gloves are going to be more of a shinier plastic, or it just so happens that the first two figures that we're looking at, has those. To change out his hands, and probably what I will end up doing is keep these closed-fisted hands off permanently, He does come with interchangeable hands. Let's pop the other one off. There we go. Interchangeable hands that are more kind of, I don't want to say spell casting, but hopefully that's what you guys get from me saying that. Kind of like spell casting hands. Or hands, at least, when you're going to be displaying him. It makes a little bit more sense than just them being completely closed. It looks really good. I gotta say, too, look, the torsos. Batman's torso really impressed me. Deadman's torso impresses me quite a bit, too, just like the level of sculpt that they put in there. In the way of Deadman's articulation, I almost said Deadshot, his head is on a ball joint. To get in there, you have to get around his collar, but it's not a hard task to accomplish. Shoulders hinge out. It's like a ball hinge in the shoulder area there. They also rotate all the way around. He's got a double bend elbow. He's got a swivel at the bicep area, a hinge and rotation all the way around on the hands. Really impressed with the torso. The torso has a mild ball joint. I say mild because you really can't move it too much. But then they've got a secondary crunch right by where the waist would reside. And finally, the legs are on a ball joint. They move forward and back out, a double bend knee, and finally a hinge foot. Really, a lot of this carries over from, yes, the Mattel DC Universe line. I see a strong possibility for this line to be successful. I think the big thing is balancing between characters that people know and characters that they don't know. Batman, everybody knows Batman. Obviously, Superman we don't have yet. Deadman, I think enough people know of Deadman. I don't know if I would have thrown Mr. Miracle into the mix, but I know he's a character that you don't really want to run that risk of giving us all the A-listers and then give us like the D and E and F listers near the end of the line. That certainly would be a recipe for disaster. I like the look of Deadman, though. Very cool figure. He's a lot smaller than a standard 6-inch figure. I think he's closer to about 5, maybe 5.5 inches. But that might be the one way that they can get around releasing these. Although, truthfully, DC Collectibles, I mean, it's DC, right? But I think Mattel, I don't know how much of the license they still own for their superhero figures. It might just be for movie tie-in figures. Today's Toy Spot, we were continuing our looks at the DC Collectibles DC Icons. We're looking at figure number 2, Deadman. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have the reviews of the other 2 DC Icon figures, and certainly more videos are heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.